also very much enemies when they're head-to-head, and I think this is where we will very likely see some of these fringe picks.
Yeah, friends except when they're on the fold. Suijay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Vox seems to be a priority for at least Cavalifar, because he likes to play those melee heroes. He excels on them. He can play range as well. So I think whoever gets the more aggressive jungler that can enable a weapon power laner is going to win this draft here. Yep, so Vox will be banned. Grace is going to be banned here, so that leaves Lyra open. But sometimes EU likes to pick Arden first. So let's see if they're going to pick that Arden first. But it said go right straight for the Baptiste, because actually it counters SK, because I love those melee heroes.
Yeah, and SK is one of the few teams where I'm okay with them putting the emphasis on the Arden first, just because Raph has looked so good with this Arden. SK have been undefeated on the Arden as well. So Baron finally going to come through here for a priority pick.
We have a EU Baron first pick, and we saw Cavalifar yesterday going absolutely
he did
ballistic.
so well on it. Yeah, so they should ban Lyra here, not give Lyra over to SK, because Lyra Baron is such a strong combo. Idris is such a smart ban from SK here. That's a really good ban because Idris is so good into Baron. So now Dynasty needs to play a melee hero, so potentially like a Black Feather. But now they left Lyra open, so Lyra will probably be picked up by SK here, if not Arden. And again, you know, I like that SK plays more the NA meta, EA meta. Lyra is prioritized over Arden here in this instance. So now Dynasty will have that the Arden option, or they can run a Captain Baptiste here against this Baron pick. But they need someone melee that can get onto this Baron, or they need to play the range game and outrange him.
So the Lyra locked in. We didn't see any Lyra last series, whether it was picks or bans, but SK, knowing the power of that, knowing the synergy it can have alongside a Baron. Black Feather is going to be the lock-in on the side of Dynasty, though, and that could mean that this is a Captain Baptiste, but again, just like last series, those two picks can be flexible.
Yeah, the Baptiste can do either jungle or captain, whereas Black Feather it can be perfectly fine in the lane or the jungle. I do like the Black Feather because you do need someone who can get onto the Baron and can follow him through even after he uses jump jets, but I feel like just the Black Feather alone will not be enough.
Yeah,
look at the kill participation as well. 92.9% for Riku Meza. That is insanely high.
Yeah, I think Arden makes good sense here because Arden can Vanguard onto the Black Feather. Although Lyra does counter, so they need a way to bait out that Bulwark before they engage onto the Baron. So Arden might be a good option here, or run a Captain Baptiste if they do know how to run the Echo Fearsome Shade combination that we see, you know, NA teams like Nova run. So that could work as well, because that's like almost a 3-second stun of fear if you echo that Fearsome Shade. So let's see what Dynasty's going to decide here. They have 3 seconds left, and they're going with the Grumpjaw. So this might be a potential...
This is hard to draft against, right? Because there's a lot of different ways that you can play this comp.
Yeah, this is an extremely flexible composition. All of them can kind of go into multiple roles. So I actually really like that from Dynasty. It's a situation where they can say, okay, let's see what their last pick is, and then decide where we want to put everyone.
SK can run Rhyme, though. Rhyme is going to be really good in this competition. It's triple melee, and Rhyme is just going to completely shut that down with Baron's AoE damage and Rhyme's AoE damage. That's going to completely shut down Dynasty's composition if they decide to opt for the old man Rhyme here. Other options they may consider here could be, for example, CP Glaive to Pew for Baron, but I don't think that's going to be that good into the composition that Dynasty has. So Rhyme or Sky might be the best options here for SK. But I think Rhyme is the best choice right now.
Rhyme's still repping that 100% win rate as well. He's been doing phenomenally so far. We'll see if SK are willing to go for that. It's definitely a pick that, you know, a lot of players don't regularly play. It's not something that you can kind of just blind pick a lot in solo queue or anything like that.
Yeah, you have to have experience on the Rhyme before you go ahead and try and lock it in.
Oh,
and it's going to be an alpha. Also is pretty good into multiple melee heroes, but
it's not had a lot of success so
far. It's 0-4. It's still 0-4.
Yeah.
Let's see if SK can make it that 1-4.
We talked about this in the opening segment of today. We'll see whether Tyras can have a little bit more success on this alpha than what we've seen so far in the Vainglory8. How are we feeling about the compositions then? What are the win conditions for these two teams, Suijay?
Yeah, Black Feather needs to get on Baron. They need to ignore the alpha and just kill Baron. If they do that, then they can win. However, Baron Lyra is just so strong. Like, you have to get mortal wounds on them, and Baron can jump away. Lyra can like bulwark. So I'm still liking the draft from SK here. So I think SK will take it away.
Okay. Yeah, SK have a ton of AoE. and the members of Dynasty are very likely to be grouped up close together, and that's going to create situations where Alpha can do a ton of damage, whether it's with Prime Directives or Termination Protocol. So I'm actually going to be leaning a bit towards SK as well.
Okay, well, we'll see if that is going to be the case. SK, definitely with a heavy AoE composition. Can they finally get Alpha her first win here in the Vainglory8? That's going to be the question on everybody's lips, but a good amount of pick potential coming out from their opponents. We'll see if Dynasty have what it takes. It's time to get onto the Halcyon Fold. Hashtag Vainglory8 is how you can let us know whether you're an SK fan or a Dynasty fan, but it's time to jump into our second semi-final.
Hey guys, and welcome to Game 1 between Dynasty and SK Gaming. I'm Humanist, and I'm here with Xingyi in this wonderful best-of-3 series. Xingyi, how you feeling?
The battle for the Halcyon
Alpha.
Fold has begun.
You know, we saw an Alpha yesterday. We did see an Alpha yesterday. I think Fnatic and... Who was Fnatic playing against yesterday? How have I forgotten already?
I remember there was a Sky.
Fnatic and G2. That was it. That was
Yeah.
it. G2 played this Alpha, and it, you know, in principle it should have worked. It didn't. But I feel like Tyra's going onto that Baptiste and going onto that Black Feather. I think there's there's a lot of potential. I don't think he will certainly lack the aggression that was needed yesterday, and it's gonna be an interesting series. It's been a long start so far.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series. Of course, this is Tyrus on this Alpha. You know, this is quite the player. He should be able to, I think, make a little bit more proper decisions as far as when to engage. Plus, being backed up by the Baron is pretty good stuff as far as their overall synergy and how they look to accomplish team fights.
That is very, very true. And actually, we see the use of minion candies already in the lane. I like that coming out from Dynasty Gaming. Dynasty had a very strong performance yesterday. I feel like they looked really on point. The analyst desk said this themselves. Whenever Mowgli tweets about it, they really just bring their A game. And has he tweeted today? I feel like he has tweeted today. So maybe
He should tweet every day then.
He should tweet every single day.
That's how it works. Unless I misunderstood it.
That's how it's going to work. Looking at the combination from Dynasty Gaming, I think once we get to the late game, there's a lot of fun potential to be had with this composition, especially with that stuffed, and then with that ordained ability. And if they can get Kivalfar in that stuffed, and then throw him into ordained, it's a very easy way to pin him down. But of course, Baron, once we get to the late game, incredibly long range with the Porcupine Mortars, and then also you have this unkillable Tyra's Wrath combination at the front line there as well. So there's a lot of fun to be had with both of these compositions. I'm not sure fun's the right word for this.
No, that's like literally the perfect word, I do believe. It's going to be really fun once these fights kick off. I mean, we're going to have Baron looking to just melt people's health bars. The Lyra controlling fights, boosting her allies, a little heal and some move speed. A clean arcane passage through some of these fights could be really troll. Especially, could you imagine, like, okay, Mowgli, like, he jumps in, he's stuffed, he goes, eats somebody, tries to run back. You just portal right in front of him and suck him back onto your own turret.
And you're like, no.
There you go.
This is my game. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of fun trolling. Can we even say that? No, there's a lot of fun to be had with this one. I'm expecting a slow start again. This is the way that Europe have been favoring so far, and especially with this Black Feather in lane, this Black Feather Baron matchup in lane. I'm certainly not expecting too much aggression coming up from the lane, but in the jungle, I think that's a different ball game there, especially with this Grump Jaw Baptiste going into this Alpha Lyra.
Mowgli's like, can't fail any gauntlets if I don't pick Arden. Am I right? Grabs himself the Grumpjaw here, and we'll see what he can do. Level 3, progressing pretty much in par. Currently, PT Lamb sitting on level 3 as well. He's going to go and port back, heal up all the way, grab himself an item or two, and get back out in the lane. Barb Needle, Blazing Salvo. It's going to be just what the doctor ordered, so to speak, Xingyi.
I did not order anything like that. It's a pretty standard start. We're going for that Poison Shiv first. I do like the Poison Shiv, Serpent's Mask, then Breaking Point there as kind of the final item build there. Oh, hang on, Ordain gets thrown out.
We're playing games in the jungle! Mowgli's on the front side for his team. PT Lamb jumps into Cave Volitor, but it's Tyrus who comes in for the kill to Mowgli. Now PT Lamb on the run as Tyrus chases forward. A big bad mojo will hit him. And this should be SK looking to disengage. They jump forward. They're going to be able to take the fronts. I don't know if they go to take the mids here.
Oh, they should.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Wrath moving forward. They got a zone Rikumez, and Rikumez is gonna take it. He just wasted approximately 15 seconds of your time Team, that is efficiency, and SK also failing to clear the scout trap and then left Tri-Brush. That's a big fail.
You know, yes. It's a pretty standard spot for a scout trap to be placed. But I'm sure that a flare will be thrown out later by Raph and it will be picked up on. You know, one thing looking at SK's composition is that there's so much stickiness to be had there with everyone on their side. So you've got the slow coming out from the Alpha whenever she uses her Prime Directive. You also have the Porcupine Mortars with the splash damage. It also slows as well. And especially once he really ramps up the weapon damage, that slow is going to be very detrimental and very slow there for Dynasty Gaming. And then you've also got the slow coming out from Lyra's basic attacks. From I think the second attack for the Principal Arcanum. So it's going to be very easy for Tyrus to be sticking onto an ideal target. And Dynasty Gaming, they're really going to have to invest a lot in picking up that kind of Aegis there against Tyrus, who'll be frontlining the damage. And as well, a Metal Jacket there. We're going to Cave Alphar on that Baron.
Can they afford to build offense then?
PT Lamb can. PT Lamb certainly can.
Yeah, of course he can. I just kind of tease against the Baron, of course. Oh, Raph with that Bright Bulwark. Very threatening Bright Bulwark there. Coming out defensively like a porcupine, popping its quills out as he feels threatened. Tyrus is going to jump forward. A couple attacks going to come out. PT Lamb doesn't really care. He just needs some last hits. He regens right back up. Also pops his potion. He's going to be just fine. Looks like they will drop to the shop and then make their way back up into the lane. Kvalfar continues to shove this lane out, and he'll probably make a very similar rotation as soon as he gets this next last hit, I would imagine.
The Poison Shiv comes out from PT Lamb already. Kvalfar, he's got the early tension bow. He's going back, probably just go invest that heavy steel, which he's just picked up right on time. And Tyrus, he's also got the Aftershock as well. So there's like there's major power spikes coming out from SK Gaming right now as they're facing the Dynasty. As for Dynasty, there's a few minutes to go before they kind of reach their power spikes. PT Lamb, you kind of want to see him picking up a kind of first tier 3 defense item. I would like to see, I guess, a Metal Jacket coming out. Just because I'm not sure if they can dive onto Cave Alphar the way they want to. Mowgli, a little bit off from hitting level 6 and getting that stuffed ability, which is when I feel Dynasty Gaming will be making moves, just picking up a team fight.
Oh man, that's so troll. If you just you drop someone back off the stuffed and then just fearsome shade them further under your own turret, that could be pretty fun to watch. Prime Directive in, Tyrus on the front side. He's got that sigil there, so he'll just stand his ground. Kvalfar doing a good job to get damage out from the back side of that fight. Very well protected by his team overall. You see continuously PT Lamb throwing the on points, trying to connect to Sabrika Meza, continuously throws the bad mojos as well. Like to mention, there is a scout trap in this top brush that Dynasty put down very early, and it's just been there the whole time. And a couple times Kvalfar has, stepped up into that brush where you have to imagine he thinks he's out of vision, but that could come back to bite him pretty soon.
Well, the vision game is strong coming up from Mowgli. He's placed, I think, a really nice line of scout traps there, so we can see if there's going to be any jungle invasions coming up from SK. And for me, it feels like that Raph is prioritizing more the flares. There's only one scout trap that I can see on the side of SK, and that's in their tri-brush. So, he's using his flares to try and catch them out. And Raph, he's been doing a really good job of using his bulwarks to prevent any kind of cancelling out those movement abilities coming out from Dynasty Gaming right now. But the infusions are coming out. I think Dynasty Gaming just shows that they're looking for that fight. Mowgli's just hit that level 6.
Mowgli, out in the top brush, will cause a flare to come out, so they will now see that scout trap. It'll be cleared off here in a second. This Dynasty looking for a target. Mowgli has his ultimate ready to go. PT Lamb just continues to find last hits. Kvalfar doing the same thing. Both teammates just kind of waiting in the wings. You can see Tyrus, thinking, I'm ready to go, like, if they engage. And there you go, Mowgli's going to move forward. That was actually the ultimate that's going to be burned off there. So Mowgli not going to have that ultimate ready to go. I thought at first that he was using Grumpy to close the distance and then was going to ult, but nope. Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, and then Raph also kind of threw out the bulwark as well, which is, just kind of preemptively anticipating the stuffed as well. So that was a nice coming out from Raph. I'm quite a fan of his roam play, his captain play. It feels like he's quite aggressive, and I like his playstyle a lot.
Raph is like Minority Report. He's like pre-crime. He's like, oh, I can see a crime is about to be committed. Here's my bright bulwark. And there you go.
Saving lives every single day. Every single day.
Every day. So, okay, how do we expect these next couple of minutes to play out here? And can I mention we're 9 minutes in with 1 kill? I'm starting to kind of get used to this.
I thought you got used to this weeks ago, Humanist. Well, you've been doing North America. I thought you got used to this yesterday, Humanist. Every single game played out like
No,
this.
I swear to God, the last series, I had time. I recorded myself while casting, and then I took a 30-minute nap, and I just played back the recording, and nobody could tell. You couldn't tell, because I was just like, oh, this is rotating.
Rotating.
Up in the lane, they're going to fight, but they're not fighting.
Passively farming. I
tease these guys.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows.
Oh my goodness.
How is this going to play out? Well, the thing is, looking at SK, they want to be forcing their fights in the lane with this Alpha there and her Prime Directive. There's got a lot of area of effect there. And you've also got Cave Alpha with the Porcupine Morses, which also has area effect damage. As we can see,
Mowgli's learning. He's adapted. He used Grubby first, and he's got the stuffs. He's going to pull Cave Alpha back. Look for the jump jets. Where's the jump jets? Cave All, he's waiting. The Ion Cannon will come down. Big Termination Protocol is going to connect. 495 damage for the kill. Oh, that always feels good. PT Lamb going down Tyrus. He's going to come back with his reboot right there. Mowgli gets chunked down. Cave Volfar says, how about that, bud? All the times you called me wrong on Team Secret, you shall pay for that. Cave Volfar takes him down. And SK, they lose Tyrus. But they should be able to put good damage out onto this turret. Riku Meza doing his best to go ahead and defend, but oh, look at little cleave damage coming through. And Riku Meza has to be careful. Turret down! Cave Volfar showing Baron's alright. Raph trolls him out, popping that scout trap there. That'll teach you, Raph. Clear that top brush.
Nah, I want to say, although SK, they were the ones that came off better in that team fight. I feel like the engagement coming from Dynasty was perfect. So Mowgli saw that Cave Alpha uses jump jets, was like, okay, there's no cooldown, there's a cooldown there. This is my opportunity to use my stuff. He did it. But then the response from Raph was to throw out the Arcane Passage so that Cave Alpha was able to escape. He also saw the Iron Cannon coming down as well. So the fact that Cave Alpha was able to escape with just a light armor was pretty darn impressive. Thanks to Raph, and thanks to his own response with the Iron Cannon there. But I think that was a really strong engagement coming up from Dynasty Gaming. It's just a shame that they weren't able to pick up the kill there onto Cave Alpha. They just didn't have enough damage there.
Cave All hitting very hard right now. Tension Bow, Sorrow Blade, plus the infusion. Yeah, Dynasty not quite ready for that. It's hard to imagine how to prepare yourself. I go through my Twitter feed pretty regularly, and like basically like once a day you'll see XL basically tweet out. He's like, well, I bought every armor item in the game, and Baron still one-shot me. And it's just it can feel that way, but they just got to play a little more carefully. He's a very squishy hero. You just got to get on top of him.
Yeah, yes, and they have the possibility to do so. We were saying before, stuffed, ordained. There's a lot, this is the composition that, you can pin down that Baron, you can dive on top of him, take him away from the fight. And the question is, with the Black Feather there, do you have enough burst to take him down? Do you have enough time to just focus him down? Yes, he doesn't have that much defense, but is it enough?
Dude, you just run right past Alpha, just slap him to the side. Hey, Tyrus, we don't really care about you. Just go kill Cave Volfar. Well, it's also a problem, like, when you use stuffed onto Cave Volfar, like, that's not actually a great target. Especially when the jump jets are overdriven. You're going to pull him back, he's just going to jump jets away. Like, you're not, even if you do catch him, if he's not jump jetting when you try to use stuffed on him. But then nobody can kill him either when he's stuffed. So I think they need to stuff on a different target here. When they engage. Engage on a Cave Volfar, use stuffed onto one of the other targets. Melt him down. Take Raph out. Raph out of the fight. Then laugh at Tyrus as you melt him down as 3.
I think they really just need to kind of separate the members of SK right now. And SK just aren't allowing them to do that. They're just staying very tight formation. Oh, not they aren't right now, but normally in a team fight, all 3 members are very close together. Like, it's very difficult to peel them. If you're able to peel them, that's kind of when you're able to separate them. That, this is the potential of Dynasty Gaming, is that if they're able to separate team members, focus on one person, then they can get a kill.
Mowgli trying very hard to contest the mids on his side. It's going to be a fail. Cave Volfar is at 3 weapon items completed here. 3 tier 3 weapon items completed with Tyrant's Monocle plus the level 10 infusion. Honestly, he could pretty much do whatever he wants at this point.
I feel like Dynasty Gaming sense that, and they respect that, and that's why we're not seeing much happening right now. That is all.
That is all.
That is all.
Well, that's going to be all there is for that.
That's all she says.
That's all she wrote.
Oh, I got it wrong.
That's everything in a bag of chips. Okay, Volafar
Mowgli.
dropped down the shop. He's now moving his way back up,
Ooh.
ready to go. What did you actually purchase? Oh, he got
But
a
Mowgli
little
got an
more
echo.
crit. He got a little more crit. And he sold. I don't see what he actually sold. They jump forward. There's gonna be a fight. There's a fight coming out here. Blackfeather, you can't stick to a target if you're dead. Ion Cannon comes down. Mowgli, he's stuffed up. Is it too little, too late? I'd say yes.
Yes.
Prime Directive right over Mowgli's dead corpse as it falls to the ground. Poor Crumshaw. And Tyrus moves forward. He's like, yo, honestly, Bacon, you can talk about Alpha's win rate all you want, but that wasn't me, dude. That wasn't me playing the Alpha. This is how you actually play this hero.
Yeah, PC Land did not stand a chance there when Cave Alpha threw down a few Porcupine Mortars. Just did not have a chance. He has coat plates, he has some armor defense there, but in the face of it all, Baron, they're trying to get on top of him. We do see the echo coming out on Mowgli, so he has that ability to use his stuff twice.
Ooh,
But he's also
missed twice. I'm kidding, Mowgli, I love you.
naughty. But he is also not getting the chance to live, to use it twice because he is getting burst in so much.
Okay. All right. For one moment, you are now the shot caller for Dynasty Gaming. If you lose this game, you're gonna lose your sponsorship. You're gonna not be a pro anymore, and you're done. This is your last game if you lose it. How do you win? What do they do?
How do I win? Right.
He moves
well,
in. He's gonna stuff up Raph. This is the first thing Shinji says what the doctor has ordered. Okay, now is it gonna echo this? We're gonna
Oh
be
my
looking for
God.
another, but if PT Lamb dropping low. Okay, Volafar melts him down. PT Lamb can't live through this fight, and Mowgli, he is completely
Double kill.
caught out. Man, Shinji, if you were really
Ace.
the shot caller for this team, they would have just never played another game in their career.
I mean, I would have just made sure Baron just didn't go through and draft.
Yeah, that's
Like-
pretty good.
Yeah.
Dynasty, I'm not gonna say, for lack of lost in translation, they were disrespecting the Baron. We've had that problem in the past. But they have let Baron go over to their opponents quite a few times this season.
They have, and I feel like normally they have been able to counter it. I think when you're playing against a team such as SK, they've had a very consistent performance so far. I think they're second place on the table so far, maybe even going up to first after the semifinals. Especially Cave Alpha, his positioning as one of those ranged laners there. It's not a hero that you want to give to Cave Alpha. And
No, it definitely isn't.
I'm not going to say that the game was lost in draft, but it was made so much more difficult as a result of the draft.
Okay, Volifar's gonna look to jump over this wall and just smash Riku Meza into the dirt. Here you go, 1-2. Actually, it didn't really hit as hard as I thought it would. A lot of regen also coming out for Riku Meza. There, you're starting to crit. Now you're getting some damage. Mowgli, he's got stuffed. He's gonna try to get to the healing platform back here with Raph. Raph, Arcane Passage back. Riku Meza dropping low. They're gonna actually put the second stuff onto Tyrus and pull him back completely to the healing platform. Can they take him down up there? Tyrus like, nah, I'm taking Arcane Passage out. It's okay. You got 2 ults. I don't care. I got 2 lives anyway. Plus, I got my boy Raph with the Arcane Passage there. And run SKG as they come through 17 minutes and 40-something seconds. 8-1 and put the hurt down on Dynasty.
It's a pretty commanding game. A very commanding game, actually, and I think it was all Cave Alpha's game. So the thing is, with the comp coming out from Dynasty Gaming, you had the Batiste, you had the Grumpjaw, the Blackfeather, it looked so great, but the thing is, they weren't able to go into range, they weren't able to dive onto Cave Alpha and do any damage, because every time they did, there was always some form of escape from him. He was either using his jump jets, or there was the Bulwark, or there was Arcane Passage. They just can't pin that Baron down.
Well, it's going to be hard to pin down exactly what went wrong there for Dynasty Gaming, but let's go ahead and throw it back over to the desk. Munch, Sweej, Tasty Bacon, break it down for us.
I've got a little bit of an idea of what went wrong on that one. I feel like they accidentally let Baron through the draft again. That's one of those things that just keeps on happening, and when it does, it seems like a win.
Not only did they let Baron through and then played a composition that was going to be grouped up for the majority of the game. Like, you literally just played into the strengths of Baron, and then SK just rounded it out with another pick that does a whole bunch of AoE damage, and just got to laugh all the way to the Vein Crystal.
Yeah, but the one thing is, Dynasty's draft is a little stronger early game because Alpha and Baron are a little weak. Because of Lyra, though, Lyra enables and helps protect that early game a little bit. But they needed to win that early game because they weren't actually behind gold until about the 13:30 minute mark. Even when Dynasty got a turret, the gold was even at 13 minutes until SK rushed the gold mine and got gold mine. So that it was a mostly even game. And what SK did here, and they did this yesterday when they played Baron, is they waited until Baron got online, got 2 tier 3 items, and then Alpha got her items, and then they started pushing and making plays. And this is exactly why SK played so well. And this is why you don't give a team Baron and Lyra. It's just too strong of a combo together.
Yeah, and one of the issues as well, you mentioned how they played this composition that needed to be grouped up, and they're against a Baron, so they need to group up to win the fights, but if they group up, they lose the fights.
Yeah, it was a real catch-22 that they drafted themselves into, and there wasn't really a lot of opportunities for Dynasty to try and turn that around. And you know, again, great job by SK to know how to win this game, recognize, okay, we just need to just look for this burst damage when they're together, and they were able to just find it time and time again.
Yeah, when it came to the burst damage, what they need to do, Baptiste is not that good into Baron. Early game he is, but late game he doesn't offer that amount of burst. They should have went with a Captain Baptiste, a Crystal Blackfeather, and a Weapon Grumpjaw. That has a lot of burst to then lock down the Baron and blow him up. They just couldn't blow up Baron. Lyra would always get back in time or jump out of the stuffed in time to then heal up Baron. And then Baptiste and Blackfeather will be on top of each other, and then they will just eat rockets and just blow up, literally.
And then suddenly it's all gone down the drain. I want to talk about this Alpha pick. Was this just a matter of Baron being strong enough to carry the Alpha through the game, or is this a totally different Alpha to what we've seen in previous games? Is this just Tyra's knowing how to play it so much better than everyone else?
None of the above. It's really just this was a composition that the Alpha worked well into. That was the main key here. Is, you know, in the previous games where we've seen Alpha, it was actually a lot of times picked up on A side and then just got countered really heavily by the final pick. So this time it was, you know, used as that final pick, which is where I like to see these sort of off-meta picks come through, because that's where you can counter. And they recognized they have, you know, a large clump up composition. Alpha's going to be able to get a lot of work done. That was really why this Alpha was able to do so much better.
So you want to pick it when you're going into these compositions that really want to brawl, really want to get up close and personal. Now we're going to be moving into this next draft. Are we expecting to see similar things? Are we expecting to see more edge of the meta picks, more counter picking coming out of SK again?
Yeah, like stop banning Samuel when Lyra's up. I mean, I like the Samuel focus, but sometimes he's not the strongest jungler, especially when someone has Baron. You need to really deny key combos that are just known to be strong.
Yeah, so a lot of very meta things that are starting to sneak through. And this is what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks as well. The meta is very clearly shifting over now. And suddenly there are these picks that are very strong, like Baron, for example, that you can't put as much focus on, or you feel like you can't put as much focus on. But then when it does come through, it kind of reminds you as to why that was being banned so much in the first place. And that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and I feel like there is a pretty big advantage for A-side when it comes to the first picks, just because, again, they can just ban away anything. You know, Vox, I think Vox is really one of the best first bans you can make, because then your opponents have to either give you Baron or Grace. And if they leave both open, you just take Baron. If they ban away the Baron, you take Grace. Vox is already banned. If they ban away the Baron, you take the Grace, and you don't have to worry about the Vox on the other side. You don't have to worry about, you know, either of these picks. It's a really strong first pick, so I'd love to see SK take that Vox off the board, but they're going to actually go ahead and take the Grace away, and now this allows Dynasty to ban away the Baron.
It certainly does, but it would mean that Vox would be available for a first pick. Also, the Baptiste, we've seen a few teams like to go for a first pick on that recently. What are you expecting to come through here, SweetJ?
Yeah, I don't think they'll ban a Baron here because Lyra is open, and Lyra is a good counter into Baron. You don't want to pick a Baron if a Lyra first pick is available. That's a pretty risky combination because of Lyra's early game potential to snowball and her portal engages onto a Baron. So Dynasty could go ahead and just ban this Baron here, but I feel like they may ban a specific jungler. They're known to target ban specific heroes. Like yesterday, they banned Kestrel specifically against their opponent. So they're going to ban away the Vox here and take it away from SK. So now SK can go ahead and pick up this Lyra here, which makes the most sense because Lyra is good into Baron instead of first picking Baron, but they may just take the Baron, honestly, because Kvalfar is so good in the Baron that he can probably play it into a Lyra. So instead, they're going to go ahead and do the Lyra. This is actually a much smarter draft. This is the NA style drafting, honestly. And now Dynasty, they should you know, they need to ban Baron. If they're going to pick something other than Baron, they need to ban Baron. Like, pick Idris, ban Baron, or pick Glaive, ban Baron. So let's see what Dynasty will think of here.
The Lyra is definitely the safe pick here. Having gone for that Baron would have been like we are disrespecting you at this stage. We are willing to go into this regardless of what you pick, but they are going to go with the Lyra start. Arden is going to be the counter pick to that one. Dynasty happy to lock that one in. Arden, once again, a very common pick in the EU games, a very common captain for these guys to use, and they're quite comfortable to pick it into most situations.
Yeah, it's been a very, very popular pick in Europe. Has much more success in Europe than it does in North America as well. But it will be the Samuel banned away, so maybe they are still thinking Baron if SK doesn't ban it away. I still think Baron, even though, yes, Lyra can portal Bulwark to engage onto a Baron, like, that's all that you have to worry about with the Lyra if you're a Baron. You know, her heals are not going to be enough to sustain through a Baron in team fights, and I still think Baron can do quite well into Lyra.
But Idris is up, so if they pick Baron, this is GG. SK is going to win this draft. They're going to pick Idris here, and then potentially, if they want to go hard, they can go with Koshka and just play a really aggressive early game, just shut down the Baron. But they also have other options here. They can go for Scarf, CP Kestro, Taka. There's a lot of options. I would not pick a Alpha here because Sky can be counterpicked, but they're going with the Grumpjaw, and this is going to be a CP Idris and a weapon Grumpjaw. It's a perfect burst combination into a Baron here. So this is a really tough draft for Dynasty here.
Now, we saw the CP Idris weapon Grumpjaw earlier today, and it really didn't work out. Is there an argument to say double weapon power and really force that early game aggression, and it'll fall off late game, but if you can pull it off, you can maybe just force a like 15-minute win?
It depends on what this final pick is, but if it's not someone else who's a bruiser or someone who can build a bunch of defense on the side of Dynasty, you absolutely can. Baron is not going to be building a whole lot of defensive itemization. You get the tension bows and maybe even get a bone saw onto one of those 2 carries, and you can just melt through. I would love to see double weapon out of SK Gaming with this composition, because they could absolutely annihilate these 2 squishy targets if they went the double weapon route.
Alright, well, with a Lyra and a Grumpjaw, you expect a lot of early aggression regardless of what the Idris builds, especially in that jungle. We'll see whether Dynasty are going to be able to weather that storm. How are we feeling about the compositions then? Is this looking like a 2-0 for SK, or do Dynasty have what it takes here?
Yeah, definitely. Weapon Grumpjaw is so good into Baptiste and Baron. They have so much offensive power. If they go Idris, CP, or Rampart, it doesn't really matter. They got so much early game power that I think SK is going to take this.
Yeah, SK should be able to win this one. I feel like the draft they have, yes, I think Baron can do fine into Lyra, but Lyra Idris is just such a strong counter to the Baron. It's one of the few ways to really make sure that the Baron can't get off the ground.
Well, that's going to be the question. Can the Baron get off the ground? SK Gaming are the favorites coming on into the series, and they are looking towards a 2-0 victory. But Dynasty, they're the dark horse. Can they push this to 3 games? Can they stay on in this semi-final? There's only one way to find out. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Let us know who you're supporting. But it's time to jump on into the second game of the second semi-final.
All right, let's get this game underway. SK letting the Baron go over to Dynasty, and maybe they're gonna show Dynasty, yo, this is how you beat Baron.
This is what they're doing.
This
SK.
is how you do it.
This is how you play it. Yeah, so they're like, okay, you can have the Baron, but we're gonna pick up this Lyra. We're gonna deny that Lyra Baron combo, and instead they've gone for an Idris as well. So kind of similar compositions to the last game, and I think SK, they had a very extremely strong performance in the last one as well with that Baron this time. I can certainly see K-Valfar being very aggressive with Wrath there in the lane, just trying to prevent PC Lamp from farming as much as possible. And actually, you can see a bit of that happening right now in the lane.
Yeah, he trades. There's actually minion candy going to come out from PT Lamb here. And we do see healing coming out of Wrath very quickly. So as time goes on, PT Lamb will look to trade, with K-Valfar in the lane. But with that heal, it's just so good. K-Valfar should stay just fine, especially with book eulogies. Unless he really puts himself in a bad position. Riku Meza, Tyrus, Mowgli, Wrath playing some games in the jungle. It looks like those 2 junglers are just going to port home, grab some items while the captains maintain position and control over the middle area of the map.
It's all about to see who's going to get that Elder Treant.
Mowgli and Wrath are just spamming their teleports.
I'm just watching. It's kind of riveting to watch them just tease each other like this.
It really is. I think they've been watching Net Toilette a lot. They realize it's just one of those psychological tactics, psychological warfare that they bring to the table here.
Definitely. It's become very apparent. Yeah, so I think that whenever we see a Baron on the board, everybody goes, okay, Baron, late game hero, one shots at the end. It's so annoying. You can't get on top of him. With this Idris, though, Idris, you can definitely stick on top of him. And with this Lyra as well, I think there's a lot more potential for them to stick onto this Baron than there was in the last game.
I mean, let's see how they play it out. K-Vol could be going for the CP Idris here. I mean, they can talk about like double weapon. I think there's potential to make that compositionally work here. And we'll see though if you want. PT Lamb getting melted down. Tyrus is here. First Tyrus playing the Grump Jaw. First blood.
First blood. I took your voiceover line. I'm sorry. I denied that from you, Humanist.
It's all right. It's your last day.
Thank you.
Let it go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would actually personally quite like to see the double weapon. My reasoning for this is that double weapon is such an early game tactic to play, and it's just so aggressive because it's very difficult to counter build, and you have to really wait out for the late game. But it does depend, it's quite a risk. It's quite risky because it does depend on you just getting enough of a lead in the early game that you can close the game out and prevent that Baron from scaling into the late game. Orikameza.
Orikameza. That's not your jungle. Get out of here. And I was going to say press 1 for weapon Idris, press 2 for CP Idris, but K-Volifar has ruined our fun by picking up a bunch of crystal items.
I wanted to see the weapon Idris. I mean, we saw, I think Supremacy played a crystal Idris in their last game of the series against Fnatic. Oh, the SK gets it.
Yeah, SK going to grab that Elder Treant, and Ordain's out, so they choose not to engage where they probably could have otherwise. PT Lamb, satisfied with the lane position and his farming, will go back to his base, pick up a couple items here, so he'll actually have a decent damage threat when he starts to get out into the lane. You have to respect his basic attacks coming out. It'll be very easy for him to last hit at this point now. And also, I think worth mentioning, Raf, this is another Lyra with a protector contract. I really like this.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot. We have been seeing a lot in the past weekend or so, and I think it does kind of, you've got the healing, and then you get the extra barrier coming out as well. It does really help keep your laner alive for a little bit longer, and helps them kind of just pursue those kills. And well, I say kills in the early game, but like, to be honest, we don't really see that many kills in the early game, so I don't even know. That wasn't like...
Well, early game, it just depends, right? Like, early game, EU, for the last 2 weeks has been like 20 minutes or earlier than that. Their mid-game starts around 25 minutes. Tyrus is going to move forward. He's grumpy. Look at the damage. He's got a stun. Rikamez almost going down, but PT Lamb chopped down. He says, Dynasty Gaming, that's how you do that.
That's how they're doing it. PC Lamb getting not shut down, but they're certainly making the moves to shut him down as well. The Tyrus, the tension bow, packing a hit there with that damage, the set damage there.
So
and
much.
I think that's hurt. This
turret's dead.
Yeah, it actually is going to be dead. I wasn't sure if Baron was going to get there in time, but 5-minute turret? Where am I, Humanist? Tell me.
Scotland, from what I have heard.
Is this Europe?
This is Europe.
Is this real life?
This is SK showing us. In today's spotlight, we will watch SK Gaming dismantle Dynasty and provide a lesson on how to take out a Baron plus a Baptiste. Leading the charge will be Tyrus. Although he will be stunned up occasionally, he should eventually get on target. Fearsome Shade will be used to keep SK Gaming at bay for the time being, but as time goes on, keep your eyes on K-Volifar, who will start to rip them apart.
He's got the Frostburn, his chakrams will be slowing. He is beginning to rip them apart. But right now, it's all about Tyrus. He's got the tension bow, he's got the early game aggression, he's really taking advantage of it. It's 0-2 and 0 for PT Lamb. They're really trying to punish him in the lane. And he's lost his first turret. It's a sad day here for Dynasty Gaming in the first 6 minutes of the second game of the series. 1-0 so far for SK or SYA, depending on how we're looking at this. Raph has got the fight.
That's funny.
I'm running with it. I'm running with SYA.
No! She's running with SK. Let's go. Dynasty Gaming holding down the brush. SK gonna move forward. Grumpy Tyrant's there, holding his ultimate, moving forward. He's gonna be stunned up though. Oh, he's stuffed now. He's stunned up and stuffed up. Nam moves back. He has Mowgli. Mowgli, the tankiest one of all, getting chopped down. 291 damage coming through. Tyrus, dude, whoa, bold move. He's gonna get in there. He's gonna find the kill. It's actually Idris. It's Kvalifar. Thou shalt not live in this game against SK Gaming. 5-0.
Ace at 7 minutes. Second turret. Quite possibly.
Interesting performance here.
They're going straight for the objectives. I like it. It's clean. It's very early game focused. And they're shutting down this Baron, which a lot of teams have struggled to do so far. And they're just really taking advantage of Tyrus. I think the problem when in the last game was when we saw that, I think, agony on Grumpjaw, on the weapon Grumpjaw, he just didn't seem comfortable on it. It lacked the kind of like in-your-face aggression that weapon Grumpjaw really needs. And this time Tyrus is not afraid just to deal the damage on PC Land. He doesn't have that much defense. That tension bow Tyrant's Monaco is hitting hard.
Collected.
SK, they've accrued a nice sweet 4K gold lead.
Oh man, it's so sweet when you watch a player unlock the potential of a hero. Tyrus doing a very good job currently on the Grumpjaw. Kvalifar on the CP Idris also doing a very good job. AC completed. Divergent paths are unlocked. He's ready to go. Ready to have some actual fun in these fights. SK up 5-0, 8 minutes in. Almost a 5K net worth lead built up for themselves.
What they need to do is just maintain this lead because PC Lamb, he's been farming well. He's actually ahead in CS compared to Kvalifar. And even though they are 5-0 behind, they're 2 turrets down, you do not want to allow that Baron to get into the late game still. Because if he does get that chance, it's going to be so difficult for SK there. But if they can continue to push this lead, try and get that choke point turret down before the 15-minute mark, then SK, I feel like they could close out the game without letting the Baron into the late game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Rikumetsa!
I'm definitely on board. Riku Meza with the fearsome shade will come out, buying a little bit of time, but Kvalfar's there, finds the kill. Chakram comes out. Mowgli is gonna be able to block off the stuff coming out of Tyrus, but the Grumpy's there. Look at the gauntlet. He's got no Lost Boy Toph plays coming out of Mowgli here. Ion Cannon will come down. Oh, okay.
The Chakrams.
Okay. So you said before 15 minutes. How about around 9 minutes? How's that gonna work out?
It's still before 15 minutes. The thing is, what happens when you force these teams down is what we need to be seeing from SK is they need to be consistently denying the jungle away from SK. They want to be shutting down any source of gold income going towards Dynasty Gaming. Because if you allow them to still have the jungle, you can kind of split the gold between Rikumetsu and PT Lamb. That's something you don't want to allow happen because it gives them just a little bit of opportunity to come back in the late game. If you deny this, however, which they are doing very well, then it's so difficult because all SK have to do is just wait for that Kraken to come out. Or if they can get another ace in time in the jungle, if they can force Dynasty Gaming to step into the mids, then and force an ace out, then maybe they can close that game out even before 15 minutes. And I certainly think with a 6K gold lead at 10 minutes, it's possible.
SK look good. I'm not gonna lie, they look real good right now. I think one of the last tweets we saw from Mowgli was like, alright, Rikumetsu is doing really good, now I gotta focus on myself. I could prophesize a tweet coming out later today that says something like, alright, back to focusing on Rikumetsu.
I'm gonna find this tweet, actually. I feel like we need to get our sources accurate.
Can we get our stat man to pull up the tweets live? It's just me. Just kidding.
We asked so much to Rikumetsu and he clearly started to shine. I mean, like, let's be honest, it's not, they're just shutting him down. SK have just been playing a very methodical game of just shutting them down. PC Lamb has just been denied the opportunity to scale into the late game.
And SK denied the opportunity to engage with Fearsome Shade coming out by El Rikumetsu himself. And Dynasty just on the back foot here. This is almost hard to watch. I mean, Dynasty feel like a completely different team. Maybe getting ahead of himself, underestimating what SK could bring to the table here. And SK, this is one of the most textbook Baron shutdowns we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's very textbook. And a lot of teams have struggled to get this. Dynasty Gaming, they just really have the turtle at this point. And PC Lamb, he's still getting his farm, still ahead compared to Kvalifar. It's Rikumetsu that we are worried about now because his jungle has been denied. He's 39 to Tyrus is 64. And in terms of itemization, it's certainly showing because Tyrus, he's got Tyrant's Monaco, he's got the tension ball. Rikumetsu, he's just sitting on that Shatter Glass. Only one tier 3 damage item. Doesn't have any defense. Well, apart from that,
No
light.
cooldown reduction.
No cooldown reduction. It's a bad position, and this is the kind of point where you want to be seeing Rickametza and PC Lamb splitting the goal between them, just allowing Mowgli just to sacrifice a bit.
To be fair, he's got the CP infusion out. Okay, obviously we can see that, but he doesn't have the cooldown reduction items. Tyrus moving forward. Tyrus, the stuff not connecting. PT Lamb, you gotta be careful. He wants to find damage. The gauntlet's down by Mowgli, but they can't really get on target. Raph did a really good job getting in there, zoning out for his team. Fountain used on both sides. Raph still holding his Crucible at the end of it. But this is SK just once again flexing as far as their positioning, forcing Dynasty back, and they're just going to take the entire jungle.
Yeah, I like the disengage coming out from SK. The moment they recognize things that were looking so great from Raph, they just completely backed away from that fight. And that is a good outcome here for both of the teams, actually. Dynasty Gaming was able to stay alive. No more kills were picked up there. What is worrying, though, we are seeing another Tyrant's Monaco being picked up there for that weapon, Grumpjaw. And Mowgli, he's forced to use his gauntlet there in that last fight. And we don't have the Fearsome Shade for Rickametza for a few seconds yet. So if they choose to engage, not having that gauntlet there is going to be very dangerous there for Dynasty Gaming.
Dynasty Gaming ready to make a play here, down 7-0. Oh my goodness. Couple attacks plus a chakram hitting PT Lamb. He's sitting on 25% health. That's insane.
It is insane. It's absolutely insane. You know, I don't see that many Crystal Idrises about in the Vainglory8. The second one of the day so far, and this one's been played flawlessly. Cave Alpha just hitting like a truck. He's got that level 9 infusion going on.
SK are playing some games, Chingy. Don't be quiet right now. They're trying to be sneaky. SK? They're gonna move around. There's your arcane passage in. They're turning this one up. Rickametza melts down. PT Lamb back with the jump jets, trying to find damage. He's getting a little bit of damage, but not quite enough. But look at just Shimmer Strike dancing around. Evolifar. He is there with Tyrus to chop Mowgli down. They give him the twosome, the gruesome twosome. And then the amount of damage coming out there is immense. And as Bayou spams his memes in chat, loving what he is watching here. This has just been an absolute dominant performance from SK. This is some of the best gaming we've seen out of these guys in a while.
It is definitely. I agree with you here for them. It's been a very polished game. This one in particular, you know, when we saw that Baron going through and draft, I think everybody just went, oh dear. Oh no, they gave PC Lamb Baron. I mean, they are against SK, but still, Baron. You just don't want to get to the late game, and Europe excels at playing to the late game. SK, they adjusted their playstyle. They prevented the late game from happening. I mean, we're about to approach it, but Rickametza has been so shut down.
Absolutely, 100% shut down.
In the last team fight, they flanked him. They isolated Rickametza, focused him down really quickly, and I feel like PT Lamb was doing a decent bit of damage, but he can't do it if he has no follow-up or teammates are alive.
To be fair, Rickametza kind of isolated himself.
Yeah, not great.
not really what we're looking for here, team. Now, Dynasty still have a chance because they have the Baron. This is what I feel. I feel like they're down 11k net worth, but this Baron can still take someone out. And now his infusion's running out. Never mind. Oh, there you go. Fresh infusion. They're ready to go now. But the Kraken should be captured up by the time that they get out into the middle area of the map. Should they choose to even move out there?
I don't think they should. They don't really want to force a fight.
Time to fight! Gauntlet's down. Mowgli knows what's up. Arcane Passage right into the middle of things. They're gonna have that Fearsome Shade coming out of Rickametza. Tyrus taking a lot of damage. Jump shot back. Tyrus melting low. This Evolifar gets taken down. They're figuring it out. They're learning on the fly. PT Lamb showing us he is a Baron. It's Tyrus, but Tyrus can do it if anybody can do it. Raph is there. They take Mowgli down. SK Gaming. And what a dominant showing at the end. PT Lamb trying to stand his ground, but too much damage coming out. Man, that Grumpjaw just critting him down.
Critting him down, and we were all kind of rooting for the underdog there, weren't we? I feel like we all were like, Dynasty, they can come back from this. There's hope.
Yeah, I was ramping up for like the Dynasty comeback. But
the Dynasty comeback did not happen.
Let's take a deep breath here. 16 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen, Europe having a rather fast game. Uncharacteristic of the recent performances we've seen coming out of these teams. Have been playing very slow rolling these games going into the late game. But let's keep the pace moving right now. This game's over, series over. Congrats, SK, and we'll throw it back over to our desk.
SK, definitely one of the teams that are happy to go for those quick games. And just 10 minutes in, there with 3 towers, a 6k gold lead, and 7 kills in favor of SK. To quote Boromir, what can man do against such reckless SK gaming?
I don't believe that was the exact quote.
I believe it was.
I think
on
we might be
Fellowship of the
close.
Ring.
But either way, yeah, this was